So what was the government's solution to their plight, to their military weakness and their lack of bodies to offer on the altar of freedom? Their solution was benevolence. The American people weren't doing the government a favor by providing more sacrificial victims. No. The government was doing the people a favor. And not just any people, mind you. The government was stooping down to include the most downtrodden and the most outcast of them all. They were willing that none should perish, but that all should come to military service. They would be redeemed by the shedding of their blood and the remission of their ignorance. The government, through the military, would take the poor of the nation and enlighten them, train them, equip them with the skills, and redeem them as productive citizens worthy to live out in our great nation. While on paper, Project 100,000 lowered the standards for all potential recruits, blacks, whites, Hispanics, Native Americans, or anything else, given the demographics of the nation and McNamara's explicit rationale for redeeming blacks in his social inequity speech, the minority community, and especially blacks, were going to be significantly impacted by this policy. And this discrimination wasn't a new addition to the war, but something which was already going on. As the New York Times article linked in the show notes says, quote, African Americans also complained that they were disproportionately drafted, assigned to combat units, and killed in Vietnam. Statistics from the first 3 years of the war support these complaints. African Americans represented approximately 11% of the civilian population, yet in 1967, they represented 16.3% of all draftees and 23% of all combat troops in Vietnam. In 1965, African Americans accounted for nearly 25% of all combat deaths in Vietnam.